Check yourself vol number 3. For those of you who have the necessary finance, but do not possess land, we have, in accordance with our proclamation, which entitled every Ethiopian to ownership of land, established offices in every province to which you can be able to acquire land. Those who neither have land nor money will be granted land and a financial loan at low interest. Qdamawi Haile Selassie. Irations by Ras Flako Tafari. Check yourself vol number 3 written by Ras Flako Tafari, edited and layout by Ras Flako, cover design by Ras Daniel Kreft, final edit by Shaman Arital Jarut, distributed by Wisemind Publications, wisemindpublication@gmail.com. Copyright symbol Ras Flako Tafari, all rights reserved. No part of this publication may be reproduced or stored too. Let us not recoil in hatred against those who, even while protecting their freedom from bias and prejudice, reveal by their actions that the poison of racial discrimination has left its lasting effects, and by this reaction reveal that we, no less than they, are prey to unreasoning emotion, that we, no less than they, are susceptible to that virus which is called intolerance. Qdamawi Haile Selassie. Evil forces have no color or ethnic group. The dominant ruling class perpetuate various degrees of mental slavery on the population, with far-reaching effect. The Coral Gardens atrocity against Rastafari was committed by the African Jamaican government. They are on the books to pay for this downpression. Qdamawi Haile Selassie had reasoned with European head of state without partiality. How about Rastafari diplomat responsibilities? Can Rastafari build a world government by racism and segregation? Will the healing of the world be attained by hatred and strife? So many ones are being influenced to be Rastafari by Bob Marley, reggae music, reading the Bible, African liberation struggle, the liberty of the ancient patriarchs and matriarchs, or by Rastafari house and mansion. However, they fail to realize that Rastafari is a cultural revolution within the inner self, along with an outward manifestation of a higher heights of consciousness. There is an urgent calling for the Rastafari community to come together and see the necessity of a rites of passage for Inai brothers and sisters who have made the transition to the land of the ancestors. Why leave this to others who are not Rastafari? There is no magical wand or Disneyland in Rastafari liberty, and definitely no fairy tale affair. Many have planted bad seeds, and now reaping a miserable crop. They all have not paid enough attention to their children, and now losing them to ways of society. Only the few defenders of the faith are now trying to hold their own. It is full time I regroup and revitalize Rastafari presence in this society. Jah so high that no men get on top of him, Jah so low that no men get under him, so round that no men get around him. It is full time to know who Qdamawi Haile Selassie is. It is going to take the full cooperation of like-minded people who are suffering under political oppression to unite and defend their inalienable rights and freedom, to be masters of their own destiny. If those with the working capital and knowledge choose only to let their money sit in banks to attract interest, while others are struggling with starvation wages, by what means will Inai empower Inai selves if more Rastafari business enterprises are not being created? Life is a mystic trod, whereby nature has its own time clock and mankind is forced to be humble. The machines that are created can only predict or measure the level of natural disasters. Our present structures are like paper toys to the forces of nature. Why stockpile weapons to destroy yourself and others? Beware, nature will destroy you in the long run if you play the fool. If you are given the keys to your own salvation, you will surely be able to control the rising pressures within yourself. You will realize that prayers without works will not remedy the situation, or materialistic accomplishments will suffice. If and when you find the leadership of life and not the leadership of death, you will be able to return to the divine presence within yourself and be as one with Jah. If your organization is not about empowering individuals to be productive, tithe, successful, and independent, what good is it then? We have seen now that Moses' law is out, and the new covenant of the Christ era is in action. This fact should bring about grace, mercy, forgiveness, humility, and love. Let us all now unite our minds in this oneness of divine righteousness, goodwill, and prosperity. Since God the Father and God the Mother had not given the choice to most of us, if not all of us, to be born, but our parents did. Will you now thank God, or your parents for blessings, or curse both for your misfortunes? Will you point fingers at your own self for errors, or failure? By your deeds you will be remembered or damned. When you are able to sit with elders, you will know their needs and be their voice, even when they have become silent. Let the elders' words, Rastafari not a fashion statement, shake the conscience of the many who want to hide the truth or exploit them. What scale would you use to measure one atrocity against the next? Is an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, acceptable? Is turning the other cheek appropriate? Is the destruction of the dog that pisses against the wall suitable? Take no prisoners, is that the measuring stick? Or will we forgive them, because they don't know what they have done? I man have no head space for personal conflicts. I speak from my experience, and if, in your mind my words, is about power struggle, and not about putting touchable concerns on the table, then you know nothing about my character. Some will launch a witch hunt with a hidden agenda. However, Rastafari is about integrity, honesty, and forward thinking, and for the betterment of the Rastafari nation, just play your part. Let your growth and development as Rastafari materialize in full realizable works to advance the illumination of what life has taught you to and brought you to share to with others. Truth, when built on facts, will become rules of life. Facts which you can see, touch, or have a direct contact with will bring about the reality of life. Illusion will bring about confusion. Why suffer personal tragedy and live a fantasy? If your plan is to search for something better without making yourself better, how will you accomplish it if you are not willing to learn from those who know better? Global networking has its own challenges for Rastafari. Can this bring forth greater unity, more overstanding, greater historical clarity? Can it move aside petty prejudices so that needy resources can be shared? Will Rastafari be able to conquer the alternative pathway to progress, or be absorbed in the quicksand of divide and rule? Rastafari must now find ways and means to keep their money in circulation. Yes, the day the dollar die, things will be better. However, in the meantime, put a fear upon the money, if used for evil. Bless it to do good works. People are sometimes victims of their own folly one way or the other. Frustration, unhappiness, and wild imagination sets in. It is unwise to leave known landmarks and sail out into uncharted waters, only to be faced with mystical possibilities at a different level. When you check within yourself and see what you are, you will see what you want to become. When you measure your steps, you will not to slip or slide, nor be carried away through carelessness. This is not the time to play games. This is time to step up to the its of Rastafari liberty. When division becomes opposition to the wheels of progress, the way forward is rocky and steep. However, when division becomes vision of labor, so that all talents are pooled for the common good of Rastafari, greater progress will be achieved. Fret not yourself because of evildoers, neither be envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall be cut down like the grass, and wither as the green herb. Trust in Jah Rastafari and do good, and you will dwell in the land and be fed. Delight yourself in Jah Rastafari, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Psalm 37, 1-4.